Yeah, crown me king, tell them get it.
Shalom, and welcome to another edition here on the Genesis 49ers page, where we say no to vague interpretation and we give thorough breakdowns.
Shalom, Israel, we back, but never moving backwards. Here to put Israel on the atlas. Y'all know the slogan. We say no to vague interpretations, and we give thorough breakdowns. Back with another video. The slogan is so apropos to what we do here, because every topic we prove, we say no to vague interpretations. Today I'm going to refute Jabari yet again. I did it with my video on the prominent women of Israel. We have more prominent women than Egypt in the Israelite tradition. That's a fact. And he's still trying to spin it as if, oh, the Bible's misogynistic. This verse says this and this verse says that. I'm not going on the defense with this video. I'm going on the offense, and I'm going to tear down and reveal your tradition, your precious Kemet, the laws and different spells, because he attacked in one of his videos on Sonetta TV, our community, and he questioned the women. Oh, when are you women going to question this faith or this tradition? The whole time, he did not present the Egyptian faith or Egyptian tradition. He did not exemplify how that faith is not misogynistic or better, or better. So in this presentation, Genesis 49ers, we're here to shut it down. We're here to reveal the truth, something that Jabari will not do. So the title of the lecture is Kemet, Don't Throw Stones When You Live in a Glass House. Every time y'all do this, we're going to embarrass y'all. Every time you attack our faith and our tradition and try to single out the women and rebel rouse the people. Oh, they hate women. They hate women. Oh, how could you follow the book? First of all, our tradition is objectively honest, meaning he brought up the story about Benjamin and how the men want to rape the Levite that was in Benjamin in the book of Judges. And he gave his maid, his handmaiden, and they raped the handmaiden. He cut the corpse into pieces and delivered it all throughout Israel so everybody can know the heinous crime that was committed against her. Now he'll use that and say, oh, this is hatred for women. This is hatred for women. He didn't tell you the rest of the story, did he? The rest of the story is all tribes of Israel band together and almost wiped out Benjamin behind what happened. That's called jurisprudence. We didn't play that. But he has to give you half-truths. Why? Because he's full of it. All his videos are subterfuge, and he's always talking condescending. You didn't know that, did you? You didn't know that this was in your book. Look here, Mr. Catholic. I'm starting to believe that you're a plant from the Catholic Church, IHS, okay? I believe you're a plant from that organization. You're a Jesuit plant. That's all you are. Won't you start providing some evidence proving that the Egyptian culture is better, showing you that it's not misogynistic, instead of just attacking. But guess what? I'm not going on the defense with this lecture. With this presentation, I'm presenting information to destroy your falsehood. You're so enamored with Egypt. Oh, Egypt's the flower of my love, and all these other quotes. You're so enamored with it. I'm going to show you, I'll show the people that Egypt, the Egyptian practices, is not for our people. Nobody, man, women, and child, should be practicing these ancient Egyptian cultures that I am about to expose today. Now, I have a video clip before we get into it of Jabari putting his foot in his mouth, like he always does.
If you're going to be a Hebrew, if you're going to be a Christian, if you're going to be in any of those communities and you are an African, you can't just simply take the book and say, well, it was written by people of color and these people were likely African, so now it's ours. You have to understand that the Tomhu have actually had control of that book for 2,000 years.
What was his point? The Tomhu, who he designates as the so-called white men or Caucasian, even though that term was designated for other Africans such as Libyans as well. So I don't know why he keeps saying that. But anyway, he's denoting the Caucasian people. They have had control of Egypt for how long? So don't even go with that argument. You don't know what you're talking. Thousands of years. What year span? I can only go back as far as the Renaissance when they had their hand in our Bible. Because before that, we were sultans, we were rulers in Europe, in West Africa, and we held down our culture. But it's the Tamahu, as you call them, have control over Egyptology for a long time. They're the one doing excavations, digging up the pyramids, digging up the information. So don't go there with us. It's a null and void point.
And they've done with it what they pleased. So that what you need to do, African, is re-Africanize your tradition. Specifically,
he keeps talking about re-Africanizing our tradition. What do you mean? Make our tradition more Cushite or more Hamite or more Egyptian or Kemetic, as you call it? We're going to see. Do we need to re-Africanize our tradition? We're going to see. An African, Mr. I don't follow the Tamahu, is a Tamahu term. It's a Caucasian term. Blumenbach is the reason why you call yourself African, because he said African is nigger and nigger is African. That's in his works. That's in his book. Before any of us was born, he created that terminology. The continental race theory. And you want to talk about re-Africanizing. You don't even re-Africanize yourself. You don't even follow tribes. You don't even follow nationality the way the African ancestors would. Now, don't you? You'd rather just be general and just say, oh, I'm African. Who's really following the Tamahu? We don't do that over here. I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar, not no damn African.
specifically, its patriarchal, misogynistic bent is not African. That is a European construct. And for those of you who know how the Christian church developed, yes, I'm talking to Hebrew Israelites about the Christian church, because you better understand that, and it's something they're going to be upset with me about. But many Hebrew Israelites are Christians. They may not like to use the word, but you're using the same book.
Again, being disingenuous. This is why nobody likes this guy. Nobody takes Jabari serious, because he's being very disingenuous when he says, oh, we're going to group you with the Christian church, the modern Christian church. You don't like this word, I'm still going to call you it. Why can't we group you with Egyptologists, white Egyptologists? Why can't we group you guys with them? There's some Egyptologists that teach that the Egyptians are white. They're not even black. Why can't I group you with them? Using your same logic. Again, a double standard. He knows exactly why we don't group ourselves with modern Christians, because they don't follow the customs of the Bible. It's that simple, of our ancestors. They're not Hebraic at all. They follow in Christmas and Easter. Where's that? In the Israelite tradition. We follow Passover, Feast of Tabernacles, Feast of First Fruits. We follow the new moons. He knows this, but he has to paint a narrative, put us all in a box, because he wants to make straw man. Very disingenuous, knowing damn well if I was to put him in the same category as some of these Egyptologists out here that's claiming that the ancient Egyptians were not even dark-skinned people, they were always white, he would be upset. What a hypocrite.
You're using the Bible, particularly when we talk about Messianic Hebrew Israelites. You read both the Old Testament and the New Testament. You are a Christian. That's what we call people who follow that book, Christians. So maybe you want to use a different term because you say you're from a different house. I get that. But that doesn't mean that you are now separate from the critique that we can level against those people who follow that book, those people that we call Christians. It does not mean you're separate from it. Those critiques are yours as well. And you should work with the greater community of people of African descent to re-Africanize those texts if you believe they have their origin in Africa. I'm talking to you, Captain Tazariak, and I know that you have issues with the term Africa. Again,
trying to control the narrative. That's all they want to do. Control the narrative. Oh, re-Africanize this. Oh, you have to be joined up with these Christians again. You are just like the white Egyptologists then. We got to put you in that same category. Many of y'all would call them pseudo. Many of y'all say they're lying. So you don't want to be categorized with these liars that don't follow the faith that you're into. But you want us to be jumbled up and mashed up with all of these different sects and different thinking groups of Christians, right? You want us to be put in this big mixing pot, knowing damn well that we're distinct. Why? Because we don't follow what they follow. That's just like saying, oh, the Talmudic Jews are the same as the Karaites, which is a damn lie. The Karaim, they follow the scriptures verbatim. The Talmudic Jews, they followed what they call the oral law, which is a bunch of baloney, but that's a whole nother story. They're not the same. So trying to mash us up with everybody else is a farce, man. And he knows it. He knows it. It's called being disingenuous. But again, he's making accusations. Allegations have been made that we're misogynistic. Our tradition is misogynistic. So again, I'm not going on the defense with this presentation. I'm going on offense. And I'm going to show and prove that when he says re-Africanize our tradition, he's a damn lie. Because what's in his tradition, or what he believes is an African tradition, a lot of it is disgusting. It can be looked at as misogynistic with his definition, the way he frames it. There's rape, because he brought up rape. There's rape in his tradition. There's spellbounding. If you want a woman, you spellbound her. There's all type of madness in ancient Kemet going on. But you want to sit here and talk about our tradition all day. Okay, I got you. Genesis 49ers, we got your number. So again, Kemet, don't throw stones when you live in a glass house. That's all I got to say. We going straight to the maxims of Ptah, because he keeps teaching this, oh, me and my wife is this and equal. And okay, let's see what the maximum of Ptah says. It said, love your wife. The Bible teaches love your wife as well. It says, feed her, clothe her, and make her happy. But don't let her gain the upper hand. It sounds like the maximums of Ptah would agree with the Bible. We're not supposed to. There's a hierarchical system. Basically, in layman's terms, don't be a sucker for no woman, man. And that's what you're doing. You're very emasculated. That's your problem. That's why you hate our tradition. Because you're emasculated and you see masculine men doing masculine things within our tradition, and it bothers you because you're very emasculated. But even in the maxims of Ptah, it says, don't let her gain the upper hand. Are you going to call that misogynistic? Jabari? Are you going to say the maxims of Ptah as Ptah is misogynistic? Because it says, don't let your wife gain the upper hand over you. Don't let her rule over you, brother. Exodus chapter 21, it says, if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. Does that sound like misogyny? If you don't take care of this woman, she can go. That's in Exodus. So what are you talking about? Even in your own tradition, even in your own writings, it tells you don't let the woman get the upper hand. Now, let's get the next slide. Let's get the next slide. It says, in most ancient societies, women were little more than property in the eyes of most men, and the emphasis in those societies was almost always on how women could or should make men happy. Granted, like other ancient lands, Egypt was largely male-dominated. He's trying to paint a picture that these women were floating through the streets, you know, being carried on men's back. That's not what was going on in ancient Egypt. It was largely male-dominated. Most of the pharaohs were males. Most of the ruling class was males. Tell the truth some damn time, man. I know it's hard for y'all to do that. I know you just, when you wake up in the morning, you just gotta lie. You just gotta lie. It says Egypt was largely male dominated, and for the most part, women were expected to do their husband's bidding. Why don't you teach that? Huh? Keep acting like ancient Egypt was some utopia for women. It's because you're biased and you don't want to tell the truth. It says still many Egyptian couples seem to have enjoyed positive loving relationships. Even in a male-dominated society, you still can have loving relationships. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a hierarchical positioning that you can see in ancient Egypt as well. And that's from Don Nardo's work, Living in Ancient Egypt, page 23. You pseudo-scholar. Again. And don't say, oh, they had multiple wives. That's misogynistic as well. The ancient Egyptians had multiple wives. There's evidence for that. The Hequinach Papyrus says, now expel that housemaid Sinan. I guess he's misogynistic because he's expelling a housemaid from my house. But where on the day Sihathor reaches you with the letter, she shall spend only one more day in my house. Is it really you who lets her do ill to my second wife? Have I ever allowed ill to be done to you? What did she do against any of you? You, Meresu, who hates her. His other wife was hating on his second wife. But there's evidence of multiple wives. And he had to kick his housemaid out. He got rid of her ass. Excuse my language. I guess that's misogynistic. No, that's him being a man and taking charge of his household. Something Jabari can't do. Jabari, you have been emasculated. That's your problem. You keep talking about our tradition, I'm coming at your throat with this knowledge, man. And this research. We're going to tell the truth. That's something you can't tell the truth for nothing. To save your life, you can't tell the truth. Oh, Prostitution in Egypt by Nawal El-Sadawa. Pages 1 and 2, it says, in ancient Egypt, the god Amun indulged in sexual relations freely with many women, concealing his debauchery under a religious guise. Families chose their most beautiful daughters and offered them to the priest of his temple. As soon as they grew too old to satisfy the sexual appetites or tastes of the priest, they were permitted to leave the temple, surrendered by all due respect. This is what was going on in ancient Egypt. This is what you want us to re-Africanize back to. You want us to transform into this? You want us to conform into this? Are you serious? Jabari, this is what you want our people going back to. Making our little women whores. Guess what? You don't have to worry about going back to that. That's the problem we're fighting against right now. Back then you had the priests messing with these damn women. In ancient Egypt, with these little girls, families would give their little girls to these priests. And you're going to say, oh, this is not true. This is not proven. This is not true. That's what you would say because you're a fanatic of Egypt. Tell the truth, shame the devil, since we Christians, right? So it says, often they would marry into noble families and enjoy the greatest honors and respect after being a whore their whole damn life. Girls practiced prostitution until they married. A special category of holy prostitutes was constituted of the priestess in the temples. It was classified as the harem of God, the harem of God, and the harem of Amun. You know what he's going to say? Oh, no, the harem are just dancers. They were only dancing naked. I mean, they were just dancing naked. I don't know what's the problem. They're dancing naked. What are they doing in the temple naked in the first place? In sacred and holy ground. Having intercourse in a temple. This is what you want our people to go back to. It says the mistress of Amun was called Meret Amun. She was the daughter of the Emperor Ramesses the Great. Her father married her and she became the first lady of the kingdom, replaced her mother Isis. He bestowed on her the title of the Great Spouse, God of the two worlds. And again, that's Prostitution in Egypt by Nawal El-Sadawi, page 1 and 2. But again, this is what you want our people to go back into. And he was like, oh, prostitution wasn't in ancient Egypt. It's the world's oldest known profession, man. We know it was there. I'm going to give you proof. This is Rampsinitis. I don't know how to say his name, so forgive me. Rampsinitis and Wiley the thief. He says he sent his own daughter to the common stools. What is that talking about? Prostitution. With orders to admit all comers. What does that mean? She was turning tricks, man. But to require every man to tell her what was the cleverest and wickedest thing he had done in the whole course of his life. So he turned his his daughter into a prostitute just so he can catch the thief when you read the story. This is Egyptian history. This is Kemet. The place that Jabari is so enamored with that he can't see any wrong in it. And this is reading Herodotus by Deborah Hamel, page 73. So he sold his daughter into prostitution, which would be a violation of Hebraic law. The law that you hate so much, Jabari. The law that you hate. And you love to make your videos slandering so much. Our scriptures is against that. But let me give you another example of prostitution. When Herodotus was told that Cheops, which is Khufu, had set his own daughter to work as a prostitute to help pay for his pyramid building. Egyptian Mythology by Geraldine Pinch, page 157, which is a very good source book. If you want to know about Egypt and that mythology and a lot of this obscure history, purchase this book because it's a source book. This would not happen in a Hebraic society. It would not be legal in a Hebraic society. Apparently, it's legal in Egypt. Deuteronomy 23:17 said, there shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel. But guess what? Kemet, they was tricking their daughters. They was making their daughters into tricks. So I guess we should re-Africanize the Bible and go back to doing what Khufu was doing. Selling his own daughter into prostitution so he can get some damn pyramid funds. This is where you want us to go back into? Jabari? Osaze? Or how the hell you say your name? This is what you want our people to go back into. I told you, keep bashing the tradition. I'm going to keep coming at your throat. This is you. You want us to come back into Khufu and him selling his daughter into prostitution. Sacred sluts, man. Sacred prostitutes. That's what you want our women to go back into, but we're the misogynistic ones. Yeah, right. We're the ones that hate women so damn much. Leviticus 19:29. Do not prostitute thy daughter. Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. Lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. That's Hebraic. We against prostitution. You're a proponent of it. Our scriptures is against it. Your history, your writings is in support of prostitution. I gave you 3 sources, 3 witnesses, man. You're convicted. You already lost. I don't even have to keep going in the presentation. You're already dead in the water. Now, let's go into this rape thing because you kept mentioning rape in all the Bible. There's raping gangs in the Bible. Yeah, and guess what? They got dealt with accordingly. They died. The men that raped died. They got killed. Why? Because rape was taboo in the Bible. It was against the law. Now, when we go to rape, it says the myth of Horus repaid his mother. Now, this is his mother, Isis. I don't care. I'm going to call him by the Greek name. I don't respect you enough to call it by what you call Metanetter. The myth of Horus repaid his mother by raping her. Seems strange, but each king had to take possession of the throne goddess and beget a repeat of himself. So he raped her, got her pregnant to beget a repeat of himself. That's in the literature. Rape is in your literature. And don't talk about, oh, it's metaphysics. I don't give a damn what you think it is. The way they're describing it is a man raping his mother. You can't get around that. The way they chose to articulate this story is a man, a son raping his mother. That's incest and rape. This is what you want our people to go back into? You're sick, man. You're sick. Re-Africanize. You need to re-Africanize. That's how you talk. Re-Africanize. You talk with that because you're a snake, man. You want us to go back into this? This madness? You want me to teach my children this? And pass this down? Are you mad? Source, Egyptian Mythology by Geraldine Pinch, page 151. But you were such an advocate. You were saying rape is bad and all this other stuff when you pointed out in the Bible. The Bible's objectively honest and telling you what happened to these people. They got killed. Horus didn't die because of this. Horus was rewarded with a son out of this. So let's keep going. Rape again. Another example of rape with the same situation. A spell from the Harris Magical Papyrus from the British Museum refers to Isis weeping on the river bank after Horus has had sex with her. Her own son. Incest again. Rape. Egyptian Mythology by Geraldine Pinch, page 135. So don't you dare open your damn mouth talking about our tradition again. Oh, brothers, you don't understand. It's metaphysical. That's all fine and dandy. They could have found another way to articulate it then, if that's the case. What's wrong with their brain? What's going on in their mind if they're talking about this man raping his mother? And this is what you want our people to go back to. You should be ashamed of yourself. Another example of rape found in your mythos. A myth found only in an inscription of the 4th century BCE tells how Geb violently rebelled against his parents. He seized the throne of Shu and forced Tefnut, his mother, to be his queen. I can't make this stuff up. I cannot make this stuff up. And the source is not down there, but it should be. It's the same book, Egyptian Mythology by Geraldine Pinch, page, I believe, 154. But are you surprised? Look how they portray Geb. That's Geb right there with his penis touching his mouth, with his phallus touching his mouth. This is what you want us to go, oh, brothers, you don't understand. I do understand a penis, a phallus, going into somebody's mouth is disgusting. You cannot justify that. And you can't justify him being depicted as raping or forcing his own mother to be his queen, man. I don't care what you try to say. That, oh, it's air and element. The way the story is being told is twisted. Urine. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my, don't open your mouth again. Don't say nothing about our tradition again. When you got stuff like this all over yours. It says you cook them now. You cook them on a new potsherd with vine wood. You pound it with 9 apple peeps. Together with your urine. Piss. Your urine. Or your sweat free from oil. Put it in wine. Speak over it 7 times and make the woman drink it. Make a woman drink this? This is misogyny, the Laden Papyrus. Now, to your credit, this is 3rd century AD. Doesn't mean it wasn't the Egyptians who came up with this. But the Laden Papyrus. This is a love potion that involves pissing, preparing urine, and putting it in wine and speaking over 7 times and making women drink it. Forcing women to like you with a spell. Leviticus 10 and 10. And that you may put a difference between the holy and unholy and between unclean and clean. This is unclean. This is disgusting. This is nasty. And you want us to re-Africanize back to this? Are you serious? You need a CAT scan. You really have lost your mind. And here go these dances dancing butt naked. You know, I'm curious to hear him back this up. This is not Hebraic. This is what he wants us to go back to. He wants our little girls to go outside and dance butt naked. Anyway, here's from the Ebers papyrus, a medical papyrus, how to cure sagging breasts. Very interesting. Now, Jabari wants our women to go, he wants our women to believe this is the better tradition, and this is what we should do. We should follow these concepts, if you will. It says should be covered. She should be covered with menstrual blood in the woman's belly and her thighs covered as well. This is a remedy for women with sagging breasts from the Ebers papyrus. Covering women with menstrual blood. Jabari, this is what you want our people to go back to. This is what you want us to re-Africanize into. This is madness. Don't you ever open your damn mouth talking about the Bible no more. When your tradition teaches women should cover themselves in menstrual blood to cure themselves from sagging titties. How dare you, you disrespectful, emasculated man. I don't even want to call you a man. You boy. Look at this. To the right, the fresco at tomb of Nebumoon. These could very well be depicting those sacred prostitutes. It could very well be. Why are they naked, dancing around, butt naked? Oh, women back then were comfortable with their bodies. Everybody was comfortable. Get the hell out of here, man. You little pedophile. Oh, man. This is not going to be the PG-13 episode. I apologize. But this guy is always on one, if you know what I mean. Jabari. Now, Herodotus was told of how difficult it was to find a woman who had been faithful to her husband. Now, check this story out. We're misogynists, right? We hate women. Even though most of us are married. I'm married. We hate women so much. But let's read the corpus of knowledge or the history that we find written about the son of Ramesses II, right? It says, when he, a son of Ramesses II, had been blind for 10 years, an oracle from the city of Buto declared to him that the time of his punishment was drawing to an end, and that he should regain his sight by washing his eyes. Now I want you guys to gear up for this part, because this is madness. Like, don't eat anything while you're watching this. Don't eat anything. Don't be drinking anything, because you might throw up. Now, he was blind, and the remedy for him to cure his blindness is to do this. Wash his eyes with the issue of a woman who had never had intercourse with any man but her own husband. He was told and instructed by a wise man, or oracle, or whatever, to wash his eyes with period blood, man. Menstrual blood. Or how the emasculated Jabari says, menses. She's on her menses. With the S at this. Yo. You can't be serious with this. He was told to wash his eyes with period blood. This is what you want us to go back to? You want me to put down the Hebraic tradition and go back to this? Washing period blood on our eyes. It says women who had never had wash his eyes with the issue of a woman who had never had intercourse with any man but her own husband. Pharaoh's made a trial with his own wife first. So basically, he's saying this will only work if you got with somebody that is not cheating on her husband or hasn't had sex with anybody outside of her husband. Pharaoh's made a trial with his own wife first, and he still remained blind. So it's inferring that his own wife was unfaithful. It says, although he tried with all women, one after the other, when at least he recovered his sight, he took all the when at last he recovered his sight, he took all the women of whom he had made trial, save only her who had made him see again. So even his own wife. Let's see what happens. And gathered them into one town, that which is now called Red Clay, where having collected them together, he burnt them in the town. But the woman by whose means he had recovered sight, he took to wife. He killed all the rest of them. He set their ass on fire. But you'll go to our Bible and say, oh, this is misogynistic. How could they do women like this? The son of Ramesses Pharaohs, he burnt their ass. He killed them because he felt like, oh, your period blood didn't heal me, so you're a whore. Oh, man. This is from the history of Herodotus, book 2, is where we find this information about these ancient Egyptians and how wild they were. But you go read the story about what one wicked person did, boom, and you're going to say, oh, there's a whole book is misogynistic. Let's do that same logic, use that same logic with you. And your love, Kemet's the flower of your heart, you say. Well, you find this in Kemet. Why are you not condemning this? And also, don't go around using period blood to cure blindness. That's madness. But let Jabari tell you this is science. Again, let's talk about spellbounding again. Once again, I brought up one incident with the urine. Yeah, they took urine, put it in women's wine, and said a spell, seance over it, and gave it to them. It says, take an egg of a crow and the juice of the plant crow's foot and gall of a river electric eel and grind them with honey and say the spell whenever you grind and whenever you smear it on your genitals. This is the spell that is to be spoken. I say to you, womb of N, open and receive the seed of N and the uncontrollable seed of Afri, write it. Let her, N, or Noon, love me for all her time as Isis loved Osiris, and let her remain chaste for me as Penelope did of Odeus. And do you, womb, remember me of all the time of my life, because I am Archonoctus. Say this while grinding, and whenever you rub your genitals in the way have intercourse with the woman you wish, and she will love you alone, and by no one else will she ever be laid, just you alone. This is from the Pyramid Greco magic found in Egypt. Spellbounding the woman. Oh, I'm going to grind this on me, and I'm going to say this seance, and I'm going to venerate these gods. That's another thing, too. That's how you know if you see something the gods was doing with homosexual or out of order. The people were doing that as well because they venerated the gods in action. So if they venerate them in action, the stuff you hear about the gods or the mythos, the people were enacting that and reacting to it and actually living that in their lives. Make no mistake about it. But again, spellbound, you want our people to go to spellbounding. You want our people to do voodoo and spellbound people now, right? That's what you want us to do. Re-Africanize our culture. Get the hell out of here, man. Now, this next portion. Warning, the adults only. Please be advised that this is sexually explicit material and it is not to be viewed by minors under the age of 18 or 21 in some states. If you're not of the legal age, please close this video immediately. Please. Because it's about to get very erotic. Now, I'm going to give you 5 seconds. Because what I'm about to show you guys is going to prove that this is not the culture that our women should be trying to go back to, like Jabari is inferring. Now, if you're ready or not, I'm going to the next slide. Erotica, the Turin Papyrus. The Turin Papyrus. Look, what do you see? Men having sex with women. Pornographic images. How do we know this is not the sacred prostitutes that was being referred to earlier? So when Jabari talking about, oh, there were priestess in Egypt, what were they doing in the temple, huh? Were they doing this? What's being displayed in the Turin Papyrus? Was this the ancient porn hub of the ancient world, huh? Is that what this was, Jabari? Answer me. You need to respond to this. The Turin Papyrus. This is what our people should go back into, pornography. This is what you mean by re-Africanizing the tradition. The Turin Papyrus is reputed as the world's first men magazine. Is this what we want our women aspiring to be? This is what you want our women to be like? Huh? Discovered during the Romancide period, circa 1150 BC, alongside judicial, king list, and a cartography papyri, the oldest geographical map, they say. This was found along those important documents. When I see that was found along these documents, that sounds like this was held in high regard. Could this be this temple prostitution being referred to earlier? It could very well be. What were those priestess doing in the temple? Huh? Were they doing this? Were they performing blowjobs? Were they doing missionary? Is that what the hell they were doing? And this is supposed to be better for our women. Get the hell out of here. You have lost your marbles. Don't you open your damn mouth about the tradition of the Israelites anymore. Don't you dare do it. Every time you do it, Genesis 49 is going to be right there, revealing your shame to the world. You want us to put the Bible down and aspire to be like these people. Are you nuts? Again, that's the Urine papyri. Urine papyri. Last slide. Misogyny. That's always, the Bible's misogyny. How could it be misogynistic when you have scriptures like this found in the Bible? Proverbs chapter 31, it says the words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught, his mom taught him this. This is what she taught him. And Lemuel is Solomon. She said, what, my son, and what the son of my womb, and what the son of my vows. Give not thy strength unto women. That's what you wanted. His mother told him, don't give your strength unto women. You'll lose yourself that way. You'll lose everything you work for giving your strength unto women. Meaning, don't go crazy. Don't lose your wits behind a woman like a lot of men do. Jabari, I believe you have done that. That's why you say some of the most absurd statements I ever heard. It's reports of your wife going around touching people with a feather, talking about getting touched with your feminine side. Negro, you don't have a feminine side. You still believe in that fairy tale? You have violated this. Give not thy strength unto a woman, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. You have violated that. You need to be cleansed. How you always put that little S on everything. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 26, it says, she opened her mouth with wisdom. Wait a minute. The scripture says the woman opens her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. Oh, we're misogynistic, though. This is in our literature. She looketh well to the ways of her household, eating not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her. He praises his wife. There's nothing wrong with that. But we don't give her the upper hand like the maxims of Ptah Hotep says. And we don't give the strength unto our woman, just like Proverbs says, and that also agrees with the maxims of Ptah Hotep. It doesn't agree with Jabari, though. Jabari, you are screwed up in the head. If you think our people should go back to doing prostitution, sacred prostitution, rubbing themselves with menstrual blood, and following deities that rape each other, and spellbounding people, and you know what? We should just burn everybody like Ramesses. But you want to hold us to this. Whatever you see negative in the Bible, you want to say, oh, this is why you shouldn't follow it. Negro, don't throw stones when you live in a glass house. And I'm sorry, I don't mean Negro, I mean necro. Because y'all some necros. Void of understanding and dead in this world, man. Y'all dead to true knowledge. So, again, Jabari, don't open your mouth again about our tradition. Stick to teaching about tours in Egypt. Go to touring pyramids. That's what you do. All right? Stick to touring pyramids in Egypt. That's what you need to do. Because all this lying and mudflinging like you're a politician ain't going to get you nowhere but hurt. You're going to get hurt scholastically. Because we're going to show and prove that the tradition that you're bashing is way better, 10 times, thousands and thousands and thousands better than what Egypt was pushing. And with that, I say shalom to the family that's supporting the channel. All praise to about 1,800 subscribers. We're growing. Videos, the viewership is growing. I just want to thank everybody for all the support they gave to this channel. In the little time I've had this channel open, it has grown exponentially. And I just want to thank everyone. Y'all know the slogan. We say no to vague interpretations and we give thorough breakdowns. This has been thoroughly broke down. So Jabari, step off. That's all I got to say. Like the channel. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Share it on the social media platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, etc. And thanks for supporting the channel. I see all the love in the comments. The love you brothers be giving me at the like button. I will continue to produce grade A scholarship. Genesis 49ers signing off.